All right, I'm here with Kay Sanders. So we're gonna get rolling. I actually am curious about your topic because we haven't had time to talk really. We talked briefly about a different program and some other stuff, really never about your life story because I didn't know you were from Germany, which means that as of like 2 minutes ago, I knew nothing about you. So fill me and the world in as to who you are, how you got to be doing what you're doing, where you're at, kind of this everything.
Okay, well, it's a kind of like a long story, but to kind of shorten it up, I mean, like I said, I'm from Germany. I came here March 2006 with my now ex-husband. He decided to get up and leave 2 months after we arrived, and so I was just like trying to make it work here. I mean, I've done different things over the years, really trying to work my way up because when I got here, I thought, okay, if I get a certificate maybe in web design, because that was like my initial thing, I wanted to work with computers. I figured, okay, if I get a certificate, that will get me a nice paying job. Well, and then I learned that you have to have an actual bachelor degree, master's degree, or anything like that to actually get a good paying job. So I started school and just you really worked my way up from, low paying jobs up to, I was working for the government for a couple of years. I just actually went full-time entrepreneur. I just quit my job. Well, in 2 days, it's going to be a month.
Good.
So I'm pretty fresh in the whole entrepreneur world, full-time entrepreneur world. And I became a coach 2012 because where I was working at the PTSD treatment facility on Fort Bliss. And we were working with veterans who suffer from PTSD. And my passion was really, I wanted to help them. I have learned so much about it and I really wanted to help them. So I started, I got a certificate in holistic life coaching. Mm-hmm. But the problem was I learned about the holistic aspect, but not how you actually coach someone. Gotcha. So for about 2 years, I was really just dragging my feet. I mean, I didn't really work with anyone because I was like, how do you coach someone? Mm-hmm. So in November of 2014, I was like, okay, I need to make something happen. So I got my certification in coaching. So I'm actually a certified coach now. And but then I was like, PTSD, it's kind of tricky. And since I'm getting my master's in entrepreneurship, I'm like, that is my forte. I mean, I love doing it. I love the whole web design, graphic design, creating stuff, just putting stuff together, and really the business aspect. I loved it. So That's how I went into becoming a business coach.
So you merge. It's actually two completely offsetting things to merge. So I'm even more curious now. So do you not do anything around PTSD anymore?
No, not right now. I mean, I do want to I still want to work with veterans, but like transitioning out the military, like helping them, find their passion, start a business and don't. But with PTSD, since I'm not a counselor or anything like that, and since most of my coaching is done over the phone, I was a little worried that, what if something happens and then, it triggers something. I didn't want to. I couldn't, my conscience, it couldn't do that, so I just really never did. I mean, I've talked to a lot of them, like even at work and stuff, I've helped them, but never really on a professional level where I actually had a lot of clients on them because I really just didn't feel comfortable working with them on certain things and then triggering something. So I left that, but I do want to get into transitioning, really helping them find their passion, help them really figure out a way how to move on, because if you're in the military for so many years, you're so used to that lifestyle, and civilian life, military life is completely different. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, they're like, they're struggling getting out. So I do wanna start working with veterans who are like getting out the military though.
And I actually, my Dexter brother's in the military, he doesn't have PTSD, but I can understand that concept. But then I start thinking as you start talking, I'm like, there's still a lot of people who in life, they whether it's the military is what they get used to their own life and civilian life, right? So there's still that same aspect of kind of like boredom that sets in, and people don't feel like comfortable or content with what they're doing. So like, what are the things that you usually work with in terms of people transitioning from that level of same area, being like discontent, to move on to be able to do what you say everything is possible? Like, how do you start that process for people?
Well, first I figure out what is it that they're really passionate about. What is it they want to do in their life? I mean, do they want to start their own business? Do they just want to get a job? What kind of job do they want to do? And really just talk to them about what gets them going. Because as you know, if you have I don't know if you ever had an actual job, but if you have a job, you have to get up in the morning like, oh my God, now I got to go to work. But if you have a business, if you do something you're really passionate about, you get up in the morning, you cannot wait to get started. It's like, even though you work like what, 12, 16 hours, in a business, it's not really work because you're doing something you're passionate about.
Okay.
And that's what I want to help people with, that really help them figure out what are they passionate about. And I mean, like you mentioned earlier, I mean, I switched over from PTSD coaching to business coaching is because I found my passion. It took me a while, it took me a couple of years to really find my true passion. But once I did, doors opened up for me, and so many things have changed for me. And also, since I had written a book and I was, part of another book, it was like, it didn't match with what I was doing before.
Yeah.
I was like I was thinking about going into PTSD coaching, but my book is a business book. And it's just like everything that I was doing was more around business. And so that's why I switched over. And, a lot of people, they just don't really know how to figure out what are they passionate about? What do they want to do for the rest of their life? So that's really what I help them with, just really figure out what gets you going in the morning.
Good. So once they figure that out, what's the next step? Like once they say, this is that one thing that gets me moving, what do you do then? Like, what's the next step?
Well, when it comes to like starting a business, I mean, it depends what it is that gets you going. I mean, if you're really into, let's say, making rubber bands, you can't really have a business for that because you can't really make a lot of money from that. So it also depends on, whatever it is that you want to do, can you make it a business? Can you actually earn money from that? Or is it just really going to be a hobby? So once we figured out, can we turn it into a business or not? I mean, if we can't turn it into a business, then okay, let's revisit, what else gets you going? What else can you do that really gets you going that you want to do for the rest of your life? And then figure out, can we turn that into a business? And then really, come up with a plan, like, what do you need to do to get started? What is the market? Is there actually a market for that? How much can you charge? Research like the competition and those type of things. Really, come up with a plan on really how to implement it, how to really get started with the business.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have to really kind of get stuck because they don't really know how to do that, even how to do research or how to see if there's a market for it. So how would they go first about finding the research for that? Like, where would they find the answers? Where would they find out if the market exists?
I mean, I've done a lot of online research, even like talking, like there are different research, like locally, like for example, the SBA, SCORE, those type of places, or even, I'm pretty sure there are also books for that. But I mean, I've done most of my research online. Excuse me. I found out, okay, for myself, for example, how many business coaches are here? What are they doing? What areas are they coaching in? How much do they charge and stuff? So I think online nowadays, now into technology, area, it's like really, you can find out basically everything online. So the first step would really be, once we figured out, what is that I want to get into, then really do the research online. What is out there? What is around? What is closed? Do you want to just focus on like online or closed, like locally and stuff like that? So really online research, I think, would be the first step really to figure out what's out there.
Gotcha. And then what do I do with that? Because I know it's like people, they'll do that. I'm kind of doing the whole lead you based on questions I'm assuming people would want to know answers to. But I believe the same thing. I think you have to at some point just be resourceful and go and find areas, because you can always find an excuse as to why you can't find information, but you still don't have what you have. Once you do that, like implementation becomes the hard part for people, taking the step, because they don't think it's possible to be able to chase that dream, right? So how do you get to that point of like convincing someone, hey, now it's time to take this thing that you've researched, this thing you're passionate about, and put it into the world? Like what roadblocks do you see most of your clients run into? And then how do you help them pass those?
Well, the biggest one is the mindset. A lot of people, they just think, well, I don't have a college degree, I can't start a business, or I'm not cut out to do that, or how I'm going to find clients. They are not going to buy my stuff. So I really help them, get through that. I mean, do they really have proof that people are not going to buy their product, and really figure out, why do they feel that way, and really help them through that yes, it is possible. Because like, for example, with me, I mean, I have written a book. I never thought I would have ever written a book. If you would have told me 2 years ago that I'm going to be a best-selling author, I would have told you you're crazy, and I would have laughed at you, but everything is really possible. And I really tell people, like, my clients, I let them see that it is possible. And one thing that I like to do is, like, I do a little visualization exercise with them. Like, first I find out really what is that I want to do, why they want to do it, and how are they going to feel once they have achieved that. And then I have them close their eyes, and I really draw that mental picture, which really helps them connect with what they want to achieve. And that usually really helps them, stay focused and, make that next step, and I always tell them, always focus on it. I even have them write a little declaration that, by this and that day, they will have achieved this and that, goal and stuff. And I have them put it up, everywhere in their house, on the fridge, on their computer, in their office, or whatever, in their car, and read it every single day to really keep the momentum going, so they can really focus on that this is their goal, this is what they want to achieve, and this is why they want to achieve it. And I always, reconnect them with that. If they come up with like any other obstacles or any other, like when they're not feeling motivated anymore, I really bring them back to, why did you get started in the first place? Why did you want to do this in the first place? I mean, this is what you said you want to achieve. This is why you want to achieve it. And then I can keep them motivated that way.
That makes sense. And that's going to be the biggest thing is moving on a path. I know that a lot of people that I work with in the same space, when it gets to that point of like, this is tough, there's going to be roadblocks, there's going to be walls, there's going to be headaches, there's going to be things you run into. I usually have them plan in advance, like, what do you think is going to happen? And then what do you think would be something you would do to get over it when that does happen? So they're already getting a mindset of pre-planning, which allows them to get to that point. We can go back and reference it and say, hey, we planned this out. Okay, we knew that something might happen, right? We weren't 100% sure what, but this happened. What was the plan back then we're going to do now? Like, oh, we could do this. And so they start moving a little bit forward. You got to kind of help them navigate through that. So that's kind of how I think I approach it too, just helping them get past the mindset issues that a lot of people have of, I don't know, because it's abnormal. The world that we live in, this is not normal to do what we do. It's just not. And it's completely okay.
And it's like a roller coaster.
It always is. It's a lot more fun. Roller coasters are fun.
Yeah, but sometimes it's really scary when you wake up in the morning and like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? What did I do? What did I think? Why was I doing this? But I mean, I really, I came to a realization, you have to trust in yourself. You have to trust in your abilities, in your vision. You really have to trust that you will make it happen. And then it will really help you keep moving forward. Because if you don't trust in yourself, then you're not going to make it. At least that's what I came to a realization, that if you don't trust yourself or in yourself, then you're going to keep going in circles and you're not going to be able to move forward. But once you really, you trust yourself, you focus on the end result, what you want to achieve, what you want to accomplish, it really gets you going, and it helps you out of that, whenever you have that funky day where you're just like, it's not working. But if you really trust in yourself, then you can move forward from that.
Yeah. I agree. And I think trust, that's why my company is called Trust Your Hustle. It's about trust. But the thing I always find is a lot of people struggle with, well, how do I trust myself? And I think that's where the gold is for us as humans, right? Is we do have to trust, whatever ability is. But some people, they look at other people like myself and they think, oh, it's natural for you. It's not natural for me to trust myself. I think where trust comes from is successful past wins. That's it. Like, somewhere in the past, I've won. And I did a lot of work to win the one time, and then a lot more work to win the next time, and the next time, to where that trust is built upon past experiences. So if people say, well, how do you trust yourself? Well, you just got to win. You got to work hard enough to win once, and then work hard enough to win again. And now that you've won 17 times, you can't lose because you've won 17 times. So just don't lose this time, because it'll mess the rest of the 17 up. And now you got 18, and you go for 19, and then you're like, hey, I can do this. And all day long, it'll become much better for you.
Most definitely.
Cool. So for yourself, now you're kind of transitioning this whole new world. Like, if you want to get open with, like, what's something that you struggle with that somebody else may be like, hey, I'm struggling with it too. And then how are you handling that? So what's something you struggle with now in your realm of entrepreneurship? And then how do you get past that so someone can like get a real world sense of it?
Well, my thing was also the mindset, like really being a little scared, like how I'm going to do this now that I'm full-time entrepreneur, how I'm going to move forward. And then, like I said, I wake up every morning, and every time when I have this feeling that, what if I'm not going to make it? What if something else happens? What if I can't find clients? Or what if I can't make the money that I want to make? Then I really sit back and I'm like, I think back into my life. Like you said, all my past wins. I'm not the type of person who gives up. I always do whatever I need to do to really move forward, and just focusing on that in the past, I've had struggles. I have so many struggles, after my ex left me and everything, but I always made it. I never let it, stop me from keep moving forward. And I really think about that. I focus on that, and it helps me move forward. Another thing is, stepping out of my comfort zone. For a very long time, I was a loner. I was like, I had social anxiety and everything. Like, I would have never been like on camera like this with you right now. Yeah. But it was really, I had to step out of my comfort zone. And once you do it once, it's going to get a lot easier. Now, the next thing I have to do is really get in front of people. And I want to become a public speaker. I really want to
Okay.
travel the world. And now I still have to overcome that. I'm working on it though. But
Got to get
it's
it
all
going.
about really trusting in myself. I can do it. I've done it so many times. I've overcome so many struggles in the past. I can do it. And I do have an accountability partner. And not too long ago, I really had a little downfall, and where I was so struggling. I'm like, I feel like I'm going in circles. I can't move forward. And because someone had told me that how can you coach business, for example, if you're not successful, if you don't have all these different clients? But, and then my accountability partner, she looked at me, she was like, or she told me, look at all the things that you have accomplished. You have accomplished a lot more than most other people. And
Mhm.
really, she just, basically, it was like a slap in the face. And I woke up, I'm like, wow, you know what? It was like a wake up. I'm like, you know what? You're right. All the things that I have accomplished makes me successful. And success can be determined in many different ways. You can look at, okay, you make like $1 million every single month, or you have, tens of thousands of clients. Well, okay, not tens of thousands, but you have like a lot of clients, or, you have all these other things and other people see you as a success. It all depends on how you define success. Some people define success by just, being interviewed by someone like you, for example. That can be success because, someone like you defines someone like me successful. So success is really, you can define it in many different ways. So it doesn't have to be that you have to make $1 million, and then you're successful. So, and when she just kind of like pointed out to me, I'm like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
I agree. I fully agree. I think that's one thing people take for granted. It's not so much. I don't think success means that you found a way to make success in whatever like the monetary base of income may be for a business or having 1 million clients. I think it's the way that we think. Success
Yeah.
is it's a mindset. It really, and I think people believe that success is a mindset, but they don't really look at it when it comes to the application of that into the world. Because what I found is there are a lot of people that are successful, right? But when I look at them and I want to work with them, like I can't operate based on how they operate because I don't like their version of success or how they've attained it. And there's people who I learn from immensely that may not have everybody else's version of success, but I like it. And if I take a nugget of information from them, now I can find a way to kind of make myself more successful because it's going to be my own unique way of being successful.
Exactly.
It's all a big picture of just everybody trying to figure out what everybody else is doing so you can be happy. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and that's the idea is just to be content with the journey. That's it.
Yeah, most definitely.
I always have a random question, right? So the thing that I do is this is just for me. I just talk and I have weird questions that I come up with. I always kind of close it off and kind of like sum it all up in some weird way that allows me to see how your brain works. I think that's the unique thing. Everybody's brain works differently. So we ready for a random out of the world question that makes absolutely no sense?
Okay.
Okay, so don't freak out. It's not gonna be anything weird. All right. So if your mind was an island, what would it look like?
My mind would be an island. What would it look like? That is a very random question. It would be a huge island, actually, because I think, it's with a lot of possibilities. Like a big island, different little holes here and there, where you can find all these little secrets. And just really a lot of possibilities can happen, on a big island. There are a lot of things that you can find, maybe find something on a little rock, something that you might surprise you. So yeah, I think that sums it up.
All right, cool. I can dig it. It'd be a big island with a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
I think mine would be like a theme park. Just be stuff everywhere. Just be things, just lights and lots of people yelling, and then weird colors.
I like my quiet time. I don't like this all the loudness and stuff. That's too much.
I know. I wish my mind's loud. My mind is always like my mind now is just all day long, and it never stops. And then I go to bed, I wake up and do it again. Unless I'm meditating, then it calms itself down. I've learned to keep a good handle, but I grew up. I'm pretty sure I had ADHD when I was a kid, and so I've actually just learned to wrangle my mind in because there's times when I cannot focus on anything ever, even now as an adult. But it is what it is. That's it. So, how can people find you if they want to reach out, or want to work with you? How can they find you?
My website is the best way. It's kaysanders.com. It's KAYSANDERS. They can also find me on Facebook, LinkedIn. I also have a Twitter account, but I'm not really too active on there. But mainly Facebook and LinkedIn under Kay Sanders Coaching or Kay Sanders.
Cool. I appreciate it. Awesome. And you can reach me at anthonytrucks.com. Pretty simple, easy, straightforward name. And renewuniversity.com. Renew University starts May 24th, I believe. So get on the waiting list because admission is only for 200 people. So I'll be making an amazing change for 200 people's lives. And I cannot wait to do it. I'm chomping the bit and it's still like 3 months away, 4 months away. Anyways. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so very much for joining me. I truly appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me here. It was really great.
Definitely.